Hi Jonathan, thanks for the footage. Let's take a little look at your swing and how it relates to your journey throughout the stack and tilt swing pattern. What I'd like to do before I move into any further detail in your swing, and we'll do that more as the weeks progress and you keep forwarding the footage to me, I'd like to just take a little look at the early part of the swing, really the setup for one. If you want to learn to draw the ball more initially, particularly with the longer clubs, you may want to consider just raising that shaft up a little bit so that the shaft of the club, if we extend the line up, hits you more on the belt buckle as opposed to below the belt buckle as we see here. If you look at Grant Waite there now, the line going up from the shaft hits him directly on the belt buckle. If the shaft's higher, that allows your hands to work in more on the way back, but also allows you to hit out more on the way through. So you might want to just raise the hands a little bit more at setup. Having said that, if we take a little look at what happens here during the takeaway, then it sheds some light onto where you may be struggling at the moment in regards to getting the ball to draw consistently. If we watch the first move away that Grant Waite makes, now remember within stack and tilt what we're prescribing is that during the takeaway the player must be consistently turning, extending and left tilting. If that is done, the shoulder plane at halfway back will be at 90 degrees to the angle of the player's tilt forward at address. So the player maintains his inclination to the ground. He doesn't maintain his spine angle. He's turning, he's left tilting and he's extending. And as the left shoulder works down, you can see that the hands work in. If the hands and the arms work in during the takeaway, it's much easier to return the club to the inside on the way back. So you can see there the hands and the club working up the lower line up to waist level, and then gradually as the swing progresses the hands and the arms work more onto the higher one of those two lines, the elbow plane, for the second part of the backswing. And you can see at that point the yellow line illustrating that the shoulders are still at 90 degrees to the player's inclination to the ground. What we see with a lot of slicers of the golf ball and a lot of players who are trying to get into stack and tilt is incorrect movement of the left shoulder. If we watch what happens here, the left shoulder comes up quite quickly. If we look at your halfway back, you can see that the shoulders aren't actually tilted down enough. You haven't turned the shoulders on a tilted angle at 90 degrees to the inclination to the ground that you had at address. And if we take a little run back and look at why, that's because the hands work up and out rather than in the early part of the backswing. As you can see there, your hands get off the lower line and onto the higher line too quickly during the backswing. And then what you've got to try and do then is shallow the downswing out, creating problems as you come through. So what I'm going to prescribe between now and your next piece of footage is concentrate very much on left shoulder down, hands working in. So I'm going to put Grant Waite up now on the full screen and run it the early part of his swing through whilst removing a few of these lines. So we're going to try and keep the hands from set up to waist level working in and the left shoulder working more down. So left shoulder down, hands working in. It may feel initially that the backswing's a little bit shorter and a little bit more compact. All that is that the club now is working behind you, or the hands are working behind you a little bit more rather than straight up over the right shoulder. If at any point you want to forward me some footage and let me have a little look at it just to make sure you're going along the right lines, feel free to do so, and I look forward to watching your swing progress over the coming months. And I'm sure, if my experience is anything to go by, it's going to be a real fun ride for you. Good luck with it and keep me posted. Well done.